This meeting is being recorded.
All right, family, it's your brother Asad.
And I'm Adrian.
And we are back again with another quick video. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe and hit the notifications bell so that you'll be notified when we drop new content on this channel. Secondly, in terms of housekeeping, we got to make sure we thank our South African family for all the love you guys have shown this channel. My family, my wife, myself included, we greatly appreciate it. Really, it warms our hearts. And we want to make sure that we thank all of the other supporters, how few they may be, of the support of this channel. We thank you guys. And thirdly, in terms of housekeeping, March Madness. March Madness is coming. March 12th will be there, but we're going to find out. We got some folk coming earlier, got some folks coming later. It's going to be a lot of crossover going on. So we will be there in March to have a great time in South Africa. Maybe tomorrow I may have some exciting news, but about our journey, but I'll wait until it's official, like a referee with a whistle. So I'm pleased to talk about to talk with these people who I now consider friends. Man, we have sat down and broke bread on 2 separate occasions, and me and Dr. James go back and forth on the text messages all the time, man. Listen, I always tell y'all the type of people that are moving to South Africa, it is different. We're talking about doctors, engineers, you know, people with real degrees, went to real schools, and you would say to yourself, man, they are living the American dream. They have terminal degrees. They are well employed and make, why are they choosing South Africa? Well, I have 2 of those individuals right now on, and I mean, it has been an absolute pleasure getting to know these 2 people. We have so many similarities, and I'm starting to see a pattern in the type of Black couples that are interested in South Africa. Usually highly educated. I'm not that smart, but you know, educated though. And
the other ones you never seen. Oh, you on the road too.
Yeah, I was over there. I was starting to notice. I was noticing the pattern. But in this particular couple, oh man, they met at an HBCU here in New Orleans. Our last couple. Well, he's from New Orleans. Right. I don't know what school he went to. But they met at an HBCU in New Orleans, right? Pledged similar organizations. It is very, you know, there's a lot of similarity between this couple and ourselves. You know, like they're a 10-year older version of us. I don't know if they 10 years.
Hey!
I don't know if 10 years. I don't know if 10 years. Wait, no, out there. How old am I? How old am I?
I don't know, but let's go on to the next
I'm
one.
sorry.
That's fine.
I think you said 91, 92. Anyway, man. Y'all go ahead and introduce yourselves, man.
I don't know if that was an insult or compliment, but thank you.
There you go. You got it started too soon.
I'm sorry. Right. I apologize.
This is not going to be a serious
5 years.
But yes, I'm James Bennett, and this is my wife Patrice Bennett. Like Brother Saw said, we met at Xavier University. It was 1988 when we met. Actually, it was March 24th, 1988.
He's the historian. He always talks about me because I can't remember all the dates.
Yeah, so we met on campus and we started dating. It took about 8 months for us to start dating. We dated, and I moved off campus, and next thing I know, we got married.
Everything.
Yeah, we got married. We ended up getting married on February 8th, 1990. We eloped and went to Algiers courthouse and got married for, I think, cost like $79. So when you break that down in days, it's 0.0000157 cents to be married a day. So that's it. So we just celebrated our 32nd year anniversary on February 8th. We came to New Orleans and checked out Xavier, and we kicked it with our brother Asad, and you know, ate and laughed. laughed and ate. And then he was so inspired, he went straight home and did one of the funniest videos I ever heard. When you put that bag on your head.
See, got my tissue ready.
I still watch that and laugh at myself. But we got married at it was a Gretna courthouse, and I think it was about maybe I know it was $75 though. It was a little cheaper than that. You're right. I thought they went down in prices, but yep. Somebody on Facebook said them courthouse marriages lasted a lot longer than them $30,000 weddings. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Doc and Doc. Tell us about your profession, because I do always point out that there's a certain type of Black folk that are choosing SA. So, Dr. Patrice, let's start with you. You want to just tell us what you do for a living, or what you did for a living.
Yes. So I'm a family physician, and I worked as a partner initially with a group of about 32 physicians, and we did urgent care. When I first started out, I was with a group of 2 other physicians, and traditional family medicine, but it was just, very labor and taxing. It was a different time than it was presently, because you had to see the patients in the clinic. You had to go to the hospital early and check on the patients all day long, admit patients. And so, I was a mom, and that was very important to me, to be able to be there for my husband, my children, and that sort of thing. I didn't want them growing up, with somebody else or not knowing me as their mother. And so I was blessed to transition to this group where they were more equitable, and they really, really cared about the females. It was predominantly male, Caucasian male, but as they started seeing an influx of female physicians, they started to make adjustments to accommodate us. And so they gave us opportunities to work full-time, part-time, and to become partners fairly quickly within the group. And so I stayed with them for about, it was about 20 years working with them. And after my last child, remained part-time, and was still blessed to work with them. And they really still want me to work with them today, but I just can't because of the duties that I have with Dr. James.
And Dr. James, what do you do?
I'm a dentist. I guess originally I came to Xavier for the women because it was 12-to-1 ratio. I didn't know what I was going to do in life, but ended up getting married and went on to dental school. We both attended University of Mississippi School of Dentistry and Medicine, and we both graduated in 1996. So we both, coming up May 25th will be our 26th year of being doctors. And so I started off working in public health. Then I started my own practice. Then I sold that practice and retired from dentistry and was flipping houses from 2005 to about 2007. And that's when I saw the market was about to change. And then in 2008, the market crashed. So I ended up working for a chain of dentists called Affordable Dentures. I worked there for from 2008 to about 2013, 14. And then we, started another company that did quite well, but then things hit the dirt. we was up, but we went down again. So, but we had to turn around and go back into dentistry, which was in 2019. I started NOLA Dental Clinic in Memphis, and that's what we're doing right now. But I'm in the process of selling NOLA Dental Clinic so I can move to South Africa. So
before we jump into the move, is it NOLA as in New Orleans, Louisiana? Or is that?
Yes, sir.
Big facts.
Yeah,
I like
NOLA
that.
Dental Clinic. Yeah,
I like that. It wasn't a planned move. Some partners from the area, he had been doing some independent contract work with them, and they wanted him to become a partner, but they lived too far away to, do any type of renovation work or oversee that up here. And so when we got here, on that first day, they came from Louisiana, and then he was an older dentist, and he was like, "Don't put my name on anything. I want this to be yours." And I was like, "What?"
Yeah. So it started off what it was. It's a practice in Jackson, Mississippi, that is being run by a dentist that's from Metairie, Louisiana.
Okay.
Wow.
And they specialize in gold crown, basically. And so they wanted to put a clinic in Memphis. And I was 50 at the time, and I didn't want to start a new practice. I was trying to get out of dentistry. I was just doing what I had to do just to, stay afloat. And so they asked me to, help them in Memphis, and it was supposed to be just a part-time thing. And once I got up there, I started renovating the practice and getting everything together, doing all the paperwork. Then Dr. T said, "Well, this is your practice now." So
Wow.
I was stuck with the practice. And so my wife ended up, my family, they all moved up here with me. And basically my whole family works in the office. Kids, my wife is now she was a medical doctor, but she's the office manager of a dental practice. So
Wow.
she learned right on the job, and she's done an excellent job for the past 2 years. My kids been my assistants, and I hired some other people, but I had to fire them. So it's just our family. We running it, and so when people come to our office, they get A1 service, they get great customer service. But the main thing two things they notice, that it's a family-owned and Black-owned business.
Yeah.
And a lot of times Black-owned businesses, they don't put the quality and care like they should, but we tried our best to make sure that we give our patients good quality and good care, and they seem to be impressed with that.
Man.
Seeing and then we working together.
Absolutely, man. And that just has to be wonderful to work with your family all day and work with your wife. We tried something like that. We had a lawn care business, and but I'm not the best person to work with, because when I'm at work, I'm a lot more serious than I am on. I'm super dude. I used to have a workaholic, but I'm focused on what I'm doing when I'm at work. So I'm not the most pleasant person to work with.
Not just serious. Just unpleasant.
I think all my coworkers feel the same way.
Right.
I like efficiency. I don't like laziness. I'm ready to roll, man. These white people paying us, man. Let's get this work done. But so now this is the question: that were you guys interested in the continent at while at Xavier, while you were initially practicing medicine and dentistry, or what put the continent on your radar?
Well, around 2004, my best friend Charles Graham had got married, and he got married in Cape Town. So he sent pictures back, about his trip, and he was telling me about it. I saw some of the most beautiful pictures I've ever seen in my life, and I said, "Wow, that's a very, very nice place." I didn't know anything about South Africa, and I was like, "Man, I want to go." This was back in 2004, around 2000, I don't know, 10, 12, probably 12. I was up one night and I was just flipping the channels, and I came across this documentary called Blacks Beyond Borders.
Mm-hmm.
And it talked about Americans who moved to South Africa and became successful, in business and entertainment and in just social work. And so I watched that video. I was like, told my wife, I was like, "Man, I really want to go to South Africa." Then 2019, for some reason, I think I brought up again. I said, "Well, one day we want to visit South Africa." 2020 hit, and we was like, "I want to move to South Africa." I told my wife, "I want to move to South Africa," and she looked at me like I was crazy, like, "Why you want to move?" I said, "I want to move to South Africa." And I started doing some research, started watching videos. Then I came across Real South Africa and other people's videos. And I kept watching. And I said, well, we made a plan. So, okay, we're going to go visit South Africa. So this was 2020. So in 2021, it was May 2021, we went to South Africa for the first time. We went to Johannesburg. We spent about a week there, just me and my wife. We didn't bring our kids this time. And it was the best experience I've ever had. Me and my wife and my family, we've been blessed to have visited the islands of Jamaica and Bahamas, Hawaii. I've been to China. I've been a lot of different places, but by far, Johannesburg was the best experience that I've ever experienced. The food was great. The people were real nice, and I just felt like I needed to be here. So we came back. I said, I'm selling everything. I sold my house in Mississippi, and so I'm in the process of getting ready to sell this practice. And once this practice is sold, hopefully be sold in May. I'm gonna stick around for 3 months. In August, I plan to be in South Africa.
Man, see,
Very cool.
People will hear that and be like, "That's drastic," but that's how impactful the visit to SA can be.
Yeah.
We went in 2019. We said we're going to buy property.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. The man who was supposed to be here yesterday is calling me. But let me put my phone on silent. Y'all apologize.
Right,
because he
and then I'm next.
Yeah, he gonna call everybody in the house. So let me put this on silent, and I'll call him back. But we went in 2019, and our idea was, hey, we're going to buy just a little piece of property. And as you mentioned, Doc, we have been everywhere. You know, not everywhere, but we've been a whole lot of places, and none of those places made us say, I want to be here. We had a slight little twinge of that in Cartagena, a little bit in Cartagena, but we don't speak Spanish, so that was kind of out of the way. But when we got to Johannesburg, we could not stop talking about it when we got back. And well, we went to Cape Town too, but when we got to Johannesburg in particular, we were walking around City Park. We go walking together, and we would just be like, man, we got to get us a place there. And this is what we're going to do every year. So our plan started off like a 10-year retirement plan. Yeah. Every year, we're going to go back, and the kids will be so familiar with the continent. They'll be so familiar. It'll almost be like a second home. And then the conversation went from that to, well, maybe we'll just, open up the purse and buy a couple of more properties so we could hurry up and get this retirement visa. And we could do that in 5 years. We will be straight. Yeah. Then, I don't know. We went back in like February 2021. And we're like, man, we moving. We about to sell this house and we getting out of here. We out. But that's how impactful the experience is in Johannesburg. But I want to go back. I'm sorry.
I want to go back too. Because I do want to ask, so Patrice, your initial reaction was like, you're crazy. What made you come around over time?
So, just to give you some background about my family, and we're a close-knit family. My mom was like one of 12 kids. My dad was like one of 8. And so family was very, very important to us. And I remember asking my grandma, I was like, Grandma, have you been here and there? She was like, I don't know those people. I'm not going there. Wow. And so now with that generation, they kind of didn't branch out. But the generations after that, my family is spread all over the United States. And so, my trips were like family trips, and I was satisfied with it. And as a matter of fact, my dad, he had a PhD in mathematics, and he was like one of 4 African Americans that had that in the state of Mississippi during that time. And so we were always around other cultures, and it was just almost kind of normal to me with him being in that field and being an educator. There were people coming from all over the world to the universities that he was teaching in Mississippi. And so, and you would talk to them, and I just kind of listened to them, and they would not talk pleasantly about where they came from, I guess I'll say that. They were trying to escape from where they were coming from. And so I really never really thought about, visiting the continent because of what, they were saying. And so when he came and started being very adamant about it, I mean, we've done so many different things and thought we were going to do this, and it didn't, it didn't happen. And I was like, well, I'm going to wait and see about this. Is it going to really happen? And so, and he started saying, okay, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And I was like, okay, well, let me start researching things and see if this is something feasible. And that's really what that first trip was, kind of like, can we really live here? And the more we started looking, and again, looking online and just being prayerful about things, everything just started lining up. And I was like, what? I need to get serious about this thing, because he's like, okay, we're going to start trying to sell our house, and I'm just being lackadaisical, and I'm like, okay, yeah, we got time. And all of a sudden, it was like you say, bam, bam, bam. We had to get ready to sell that house, and the house sold. And so with each benchmark, that he's been praying about and speaking, it's been occurring just like that. And I'm like, okay, I think I better get on board.
Yeah.
And so we went over there and just living vicariously through everyone else, I'm sold.
I want to go back to Blacks Without Borders, but that living through vicariously, let me tell you, we didn't discover the Blantons in the real South Africa till after we had gone to Johannesburg, going to South Africa. But in that time between June of 2019 when we returned, and then the pandemic hit, we couldn't go anywhere because our plan was to go back a couple of times in 2020. You couldn't travel. It was like anything they dropped, we was like,
What are they doing?
look, he went to the mall. It was just anything to live through them because it was like we wanted to be there that bad, and then it almost felt like a prison because of COVID that we couldn't even leave. We couldn't even leave the state, let alone jump on a plane and go out of the country. But I've talked to Asha. I think I've even heard the Blantons mention Blacks Without Borders. I've heard it was somebody else that we were talking to who mentioned Blacks Without. We were just talking to Dr. Hasina. She mentioned Blacks Without Borders. Yeah. So this we saw it too again after we had already made our decision, after we'd already been. But what was it about Blacks Without Borders that was so impactful on you, Doc?
It was I guess the lifestyle. The houses, they had really nice houses, and I think they were spending $150,000 to $200,000 for these big houses, and I knew even back in 2010, those same houses in the States would have been $1 million, $2 million houses, and the food they showed, the restaurants, and they showed, it just looked very nice the way they presented it. And they showed both sides. They showed the township side also. So I said, well, I just wanted to check it out, and after my best friend, came back. He talked about, how nice it was over there. And I said, I really wanted to go. And so just like you in 2020, I was watching Real South Africa daily. Yeah. To the point that when I got to South Africa, I knew where I was going. I knew where Woolworths were. I knew, about the N1 and all that stuff. I knew all of that. So I felt like when I got there, I felt like I already been there because I watched so many of those videos. And so, of course, when I told my friends and started telling family members, they're like, why you want to go to Africa? No, they didn't say it like that. What you going to Africa for? That's what they were saying. There ain't nothing out there. There ain't nothing out there but elephants. I was like, you got to be kidding me. I said, yeah. I said, it's parts of Africa that's like that, but the great majority of Africa is industrialized. They got infrastructure. And I said, you'll be very, very surprised how much infrastructure South Africa has. So, they telling us, well, y'all got this big house, color. It's just like on Superfly. You remember Superfly?
Yeah,
Superfly, he said, you gonna give up the game?
Yeah.
And he said, oh, why you want to give up the game? People come up to me like, you got this big house. You got color TVs in every room. You got more cars than garages. That's the American dream, isn't it? Right. That's how they came at it, know. But the thing about it, a lot of people, especially Africans, they look at Americans and they see Americans driving big cars and have big houses, but that's a front because as physicians, most physicians are broke. They're working to pay the note on that car. They're working to pay the note. Yeah, they're still paying student loans.
Big facts.
Still paying student loans. And so, education in the United States, especially when you get up to master's and PhD and doctorate level, you're going to owe hundreds of thousands of dollars when it's over with.
Yeah.
And so in some fields, you end up racking up a $250,000, $300,000 education note, and your first job starts off at $50,000. So you in trouble. So, you know, and that's what a job is. A job is just over broke.
Yep.
So you just get enough for lunch money.
Yeah.
So that's the thing about it. So, you know, we saw that South Africa was a way for us to have a better lifestyle without killing ourselves, you know. So basically that's what we've been doing most of our lives, just hustle, pay bills, and really wasn't getting anywhere. So
you know, you get all the nice house and the nice car. Do you get to enjoy them is the question. You own them, and do you get to enjoy them? Most of the time you're working so much that you're never at home to enjoy your house, you know, or you live for the weekend. Oh boy, I can't wait till Saturday when I can just hang at my house and do nothing. And if you have young children, that may mean you got to take them on a play date. You got to go, you know, buy clothes at the mall, sport, all kind of stuff that you have to do that you never get to relax. I tell this story all the time about Pearl Tusi. Why do I tell this story? Because it's important. There is money in the United States, but she said unequivocally that the quality of life is better in South Africa. During the pandemic, I did this some research with University College London, and in that I interviewed a few people about their experience on lockdown. One of the main themes that arose was that during lockdown, people realized that they wanted a better work-life balance. They realized, dang, you know, for the last 15 years of my life, I've been, and somebody's offered from 8 to 4:30, 9 to 5 every day. I have not had this much time in my life just to think, right? People started reading books, and you know, Black folk really don't read. not not Black American, but they started reading books. They started gardening. They started doing all kind of stuff. And this is when we realized, man, this matrix that we live in the United States will kill you and work you till you're 75 years old, retire and die. And I think that's what's the beauty of South Africa for us, is that it gives us an opportunity to have a better quality of life. Yeah. On top of the people. So let's talk about your trip.
Well, during the lockdown, excuse me, going back to the lockdown, you know, I saw a video in which Mark went to Woolworths. Their shelves was full. We over here in America, we were fighting over toilet paper, bro.
That's true.
Yeah, because we weren't prepared.
Right.
We got down to one road. So I was telling you get four squares. It got that bad. You know, the drug dealers stopped selling drugs. They were slanging paper.
Wow.
I got that right.
They weren't selling Lysol. They were.
Yeah. They were slanging Lysol and toilet paper.
Yeah.
Because it was big business.
Yeah.
So, you know, but over there, they, you know, of course, they was on lockdown. They had their mask, but they was going on with their life. Over here, we was in shortage.
Yeah.
You know, and I did some research when you say quality of life. Did you know when it comes to Alzheimer's, 5.7% of the United States suffer with Alzheimer's, but for the continent of Africa, 1.6%. For the continent of Africa, suffers with Alzheimer's. So what's the big difference? It's you know, people look at Africa and say, well, you know, they don't have, you know, what we have. And that's a good thing, because what we have is a lot of preservatives and additives and stress and all that stuff. And they don't have those things. And so therefore they are living a better quality of life. And that might not be in their eyes, but overall, you know, they're living longer than us. You know, we lucky to make it past 70, you know, in this day that we're living in. So, you know, I just want to stop resisting and start living. And so that's the reason why we want to move to South Africa.
One of the things also that I was impressed with was the quality of their relationships. You know, that's what I was looking at, how they could go there and find out culturally and just experience people. And even though they're from a different culture, they found different things that they had in common, and it was easy to get along and find relationships. And I mean, like meaningful relationships over there.
Well, let's talk about, I always say I'm sorry, baby, go ahead.
No, I was agreeing.
Oh, I always say that the greatest resource that South Africa has is its people. So how did you experience, or what was your experience like with the people that you met in SA?
It was great. I mean, we didn't go on the tours and all that stuff. Like our situation was completely different. We was kind of on our own. So we just kind of went out and explored and went to the mall, went to the restaurants. And like I said, we had just gotten great service just overall. And we were just blown away about the food and everything. And it's normal to them, you know, like, okay, yeah, it's no big deal. But we were just like, wow, this is great. And so, you know, we just had a great time, great experience. And I didn't have anything bad to say about it, you know, at all. I just, you know, it was just tough, you know, because they talk a little softer than we do. You know, we have our voice carrier, but they talk very soft. And then they had a mask on, so I had to say, what? Like I'm Little John or something. But other than that, you know, it was great. And so we look forward to, you know, coming back there. And another thing, the way the young people conducted themselves. Yeah. You know, they have more self-respect than some of our people. Yeah. You know? But I mean, people say, yeah, you talking to me.
Yeah, so again, our experience, we hired a driver to take us to, I think when we went to the Monte Casino, and he took us some other places. But, you know, he could have just been one who would just take us to where we said we wanted to go, but he took the scenic route and he explained the history and that sort of thing. And my husband is still in contact with him as well. So just the hospitality of the people and the willingness to be real and to go out of their way to be nice to you.
Yeah, he checks in with us, you know, every once in a while. So I'll be calling him, telling him that we'll be back in the next couple of weeks. So we look forward to March Madness.
Family, I'm gonna pause this for 1 second. My daddy's knocking at the door. That's how he do. 1 second. Let me see if I can. I'm gonna pause it. Let me go start.
Oh, okay.
This meeting is being recorded.
All right, family, we're back. This is a commercial break. Commercial break. So, what were we talking about?
I think you guys were still talking about the first trip there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were basically talking about the people and how great they were to us. And
I want to go here though. You mentioned the young people, and they were a little different there than they are here.
Right.
Now you have 3 children. One is an adult, or 2 are technically adults, but the one is kind of young. What do those young people think about the South African trip, the South African move?
You want?
Okay, so the oldest one is in college, and she's excited about it. She's excited, and I don't think she's ready to go.
She said she's gonna find a husband there.
Yeah, she said she's gonna find her husband there.
First I can.
Her husband's gonna find her there.
Yeah.
So, but she's a foodie. She loves to cook, and she is so ready to get there and try out the food, meet new people, and see the culture. I mean, she is making plans. She wants to go safari. She wants to go on little mini hikes. I mean, so she is so excited about that. And then our youngest one, who was our son, he
14.
He's 14, and he's just kind of laid back. And he's ready to go eat as well. He hadn't, constantly kind of check in with them and say, okay, what do you think about it? Are you having any reservations or anything like that? And he said initially he was. But the more he sees and that sort of thing, but I don't know if he would really tell us anyway. So his personality, he's just even. You know, you ask him, he walked up to me and said, Mom, you know, tell me who's your favorite. I won't tell anybody, as if to say that I know it's gonna be me. And then, or if you ask him, well, who do you like between Mom and Dad? If somebody asked him that, he was like, well, I like them both the same. So, he's just kind of even tone kind of guy. And then our middle one, she is my voice changed. You know, she is a social person, but she observes too. And so I think, she has to get there and see for herself, is this going to be, what everybody says it is. So, you know, you're not just going to feed her anything. I think she's got to get over there and experience it for herself before she'd be reassured about the whole thing. So, you know, we're just taking it one step at a time. So, this trip, you know, we want them to have an amazing time. So we're going to immerse ourselves in everything that we can so they can kind of get an idea of, you know, what we're going to be doing.
Yeah.
Also, any of the South African families or even expats that are over there that have, you know, young adults or kids that's between the age of 15 and just say 22, 23, you know, reach out to us because it's very important that they meet some people, you know, their age while they're there. We're going to be there for a whole week, and instead of them just hanging out with us all the time, because they be with us all the time anyway. I want them to get a chance to, you know, experience South Africa through the lens of a young adult. So I don't know if you're going to put my email address in the description.
I will.
But my email address, just in case he don't, is Dr. James Bennett 1906. That's Dr. with no period, Dr. James Bennett, BENNETT 1906 @gmail.com. Send me an email. We'd love to hook up with y'all, go to eat or whatever. And we look forward to, you know, being there. We're going to be in South Africa from March the 9th through March the 17th.
And I promise you, the South African family will email you. I can promise you that. They will email you. Now, I'm also going to hook you up with our people we discussed or whatever have you to make sure that, you know, we want, what's your 18-year-old daughter's name?
Jade.
We want to make sure that Jade has a good time. I'm sure once she gets there, she's going to see it differently or whatever. But if she's a social person, that social aspect, that social component will be enhanced once she has somebody to go and hang with or whatever have you. And I'm sure she will see, like Adrian always talks about our friend Taya. She says she met Taya in Tanzania, but she said when she first met her, it was like meeting somebody she had already known because of the familiarity with South Africans and African Americans. So yeah, man, our children go from, so it started like no, we don't want to go, no. Then it was like every once in a while I'd be like, okay, and there's no. So now it's moved to okay, and then every once in a while it's back to no. Like yesterday we had a no experience, you know, we had a no. Because it's like, man, we've been talking about this for 2 years, and all of a sudden you in the back of the car crying and mad. What you mad about? You know, but I just think every once in a while they here's the thing. How are your people, are your family and friends really believing that you are making this move? And I say that because I think it took some time for a lot of our family and friends to accept it. Point being, yesterday I made a post on Facebook because we got a big old dumpster outside, and I'm going through the stuff and I found books and stuff that I said, oh, look at this. Put a picture up, and I said, and I think the caption was like, as we're preparing to put the house on the market, look at what I found. It was like some World Book encyclopedias. My best friend, who I've told for the last 2 years, hey, I'm moving to South Africa. I'm sending text messages inviting him to come visit with the family and all that old type of stuff. He calls me while we at dinner. It's like, hey man, y'all really putting the house on the market? Y'all really leaving it? Brandon told you that for 2 years. We had conversations and everything about it, but I think a lot of folks are reluctant to believe. So I'm, you know, asking you guys, how has your family, have your family friends really accepted the fact that you guys are planning on making this move?
You know the story. I know you know, you Muslim, but you know the story of Noah.
Yeah.
And for 200 years, while he was building that boat, he said, it's about to rain. It's going to rain. Better get on the boat. And then when it started raining, they realized it's raining. And so that's how it is. We've been telling our people for 2 years. And then when we put the house on the market and sold it, they start like, oh, y'all for real.
Yeah.
Now I'm getting ready to sell the franchise. Oh, y'all really real.
Yeah.
So, you know, we've been telling you for 2 years, you know, they're going to wait till we get on the plane like, oh, don't go. Right. You know? So I'm trying to tell you.
I get a funeral or something.
We're trying to get up out of here. You know, we're trying to get out of here. So, you know, we're looking forward to it. You know, America you know, I'm not American bashing, but America is a great, great country. I'm thankful that we was born here, because we could have been in a situation where we was in a total dictatorship or something. So for us to have the freedom to even have this conversation, I'm thankful to be in a position. But when you know better, you know better.
Yeah.
And when you know better, you do better. So I just feel like that this situation would be better for our family. And I encourage anybody to at least give Africa a look and do some research. Don't just, you know, I've had friends, they don't know anything about Africa, and you say you're going to Africa. Oh, it's dangerous over there. I said, what's dangerous about it? They couldn't tell me. They just know it's dangerous. But here, it's just as dangerous. It's even more dangerous.
Right.
Because, you know, when I was in, I don't know about you, but when I was in Johannesburg, I didn't see a whole bunch of police cars running around. I didn't hear, most of the time on the news, when I watched the news every day when I was in South Africa, majority of the news is talking about politics.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Somebody did something corrupt, basically, in politics. You might hear of an incident in the township, but it's maybe one out of every 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
You know, here you can, you know, just New Orleans alone, it's what, 2 or 3 murders a day.
If it bleed, it leaves.
50 people getting shot in a weekend.
Yeah.
Off the chain. You cannot drive on the interstate in Memphis. They're shooting people in Memphis on the interstate.
Here too.
They're doing it. I wonder what that trend is about, because they're doing it here in New Orleans too, shooting people, random people too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So, it's to the point where you can't, you know, we basically go to work, we go to the house, we try to do everything in the daytime, try not to be out at night, because it's just that crazy. That's the world that we're living in. And, you know, I spent New Year's, we supposed to came to South Africa this past December, but, you know, we didn't make it. So we ended up spending New Year's for the first time in Memphis.
Yeah.
And so it was like 10 minutes to 12, and you heard, pow, pow, pow. I said, okay, that's a pistol.
Yeah.
Then you heard, cow, cow, cow. I said, okay, somebody's shooting a rifle.
Yeah.
Then I heard, dum, 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 dum. I was like, man, they shooting AI.
Artillery.
Right? So, I mean, I'm in a neighborhood. We're not in the country. We in a neighborhood. They were shooting heavy artillery out there.
Yeah.
And so we had to go hide in the hallway. And I said, this is going to be the first and the last time I spend a New Year here. I think by this year, I'm going to be in South Africa.
Hey, I tell you what, that is our goal and our plan. When we had a little close call with our criminal element here in New Orleans, so it's like, yeah, it's time to go. As much as we love the city, we love the culture, we love the people, but I think it's time to change. But speaking of that for some reason there's this innate response when you tell people you're moving to Africa about the danger or about what's over there. And it's so strange because I did a little experiment last night. I was on different streaming apps, Hulu, Prime, Amazon Prime, whatever, looking for stuff specifically on South Africa, Cape Town, Johannesburg. And everything I saw did not show the Johannesburg or the Cape Town that I saw. They always go straight to the townships. You see what I'm saying? Or they go to the safari, or they never show sand. They never show, you know, Monte Casino. They never show any of these things. So if this is what's being, you know, promoted, it only makes sense that folks are still like, man, you know, they, you know, like even like Mabanang. Right, I saw Mabanang on one of the things. They made it look so horrible. When we were hanging in Mabanang, it was like, this is very not upscale, but in terms of upscale nightlife, it was a cool little nightlife spot or whatever it had. Yeah. So it there's this propaganda that goes deep. However, when you get on that plane to get to South Africa, ain't nothing but white people. I mean, I don't mean to be racist. I love my white family, but you know what I mean. It's never us on there. It's never a plane full of Black folk. And I'm talking about, we flew straight into Johannesburg. You know, they have a love for Cape Town, but we flew straight into Johannesburg, and that plane from, what was that, New Jersey? New Jersey to Johannesburg? What number white folk? So they see something valuable in it. They see an opportunity there. And all of them wasn't just South Africans returning home to visit. These were Americans going to Johannesburg. They see it, but for some reason, we can't see it. For some reason, our eyes are still stuck on, I want to move to Atlanta. That's our come up. You know, we're going to leave wherever we are and try to move to Atlanta because all things magical happen in Atlanta, even Magic City.
Well, you know, you know, you have to see what they are doing. You know, they're not just going down there just a vacation. They buying property, they setting up businesses, and secretly they moving in that direction. They moving to the east. Right. And so, you know, so they don't want us to know about it. They're gonna show the worst parts. But for the majority of it, it's very, very, very nice. You know, you go to the malls. I looked it up, and Johannesburg has 44 malls in just the city of Johannesburg. And Mississippi, Louisiana, Tennessee, and Alabama don't have 44 malls. No. And so the malls, and then so when you go to the mall in Johannesburg, they got Gucci, Louis Vuitton, all them stores. They got stores that's European. They got some stores that's African, and the Mall of Stanton has 450 stores.
Wow.
And it's 3 levels. And so when you go back home to Esplanade Mall and Norfolk Mall and all we got is JC Penney's and Belt.
And they're trying to leave.
Yeah. And see, we thought, hey, you thought Esplanade Mall was the mall. Man, please, man. You come back to the state, you turn your nose up at Belts. Because you seem better, you know. So the thing about it, the houses, you know, our houses are built out of wood. Their houses are built out of brick, interior and exterior. So their houses are built to last. And they are, a lot of the houses are high end, marble floors, and you know, top of line appliances and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Even an apartment there is very, very nice.
Yeah.
You know, and so that's you know, that's the lifestyle we were looking to, you know, to have. I mean, we had it before, and we're looking to have it again in Africa. Yeah. And so, you know, that's one of the reasons why we wanted to go. But and then also we just see that the climate of the world, I just think it's safer to me and for my family to be over there than here.
I mean, we saw what happened this week in the news with the Ukraine and Russia. So I definitely do think that Africa is one of the safe havens, and we should be kind of moving in that direction. Also, Adrian and I were having this discussion about being like pioneers. I think like 20 years from now, when people look back, because I believe that this is just a trickle before a full-blown stream of African Americans, whether it be going and relocating or this synergy that I always talk about being created, where it's like this, I'm here in Africa for a few months, I'm back in the United States, I'm back in Africa. And I really think that is the future more than a firm like relocation or whatever. It's going to be a connection. It's going to be a lot more. We're going to see a lot more African Americans begin to travel to the continent, do business on the continent, invest in the continent, whether they relocate permanently or not. They will have like very serious, profound connections. Like they could pick up the phone and call 200 people that they know on the continent. But I see us and those many people who've come before us as like the pioneers. And I think 20 years from now, people will look back and say, man, Dr. Patrice and James was on it. Man, I wish I could have saw their vision then, and they're gonna be trying to play catch up. You know what I'm saying? I think we're getting in on it early. Maybe they won't be playing catch up. We're just getting in on it early, and we'll be able to benefit a little bit more. So at least that's the vision I see. What you got to say, Adrian?
Agree.
Okay, cool. Tacit turn.
You know, one thing that we want to make sure that we get across is that, you know, we're not, I could say for our family, the Bennett family, and for the El Malik family, that we're not coming there trying to take over. We're not trying to save South Africa or anything like that, and we're not trying to be saved. So we're not coming there broke and wanting South Africa to take care of us. And at the same time, we're not going to come with the attitude that, oh, we from the United States and this is how we're going to do it over here. No. We're looking to learn how to live. Yeah. My family, I'm pretty sure your family, we just been existing. but we haven't lived yet.
Right.
And this is an opportunity for us to learn how to live, how to see our brothers and sisters, over there and interact with them. And one thing we would like to do is for us to come together. It's hard to even get three Negro people in the United States to come together and do something. We want to be able to do some big things, and it's going to take a group of us. So if we can all come together, we can really do some big things, for our people and really, blaze a trail.
Yeah.
But, as a pioneer, I try to tell people, I said, look at this video. I send them videos. Sometimes they don't even look at them.
Yeah.
But they're gonna learn one day.
Right.
Hopefully it's not too late.
Right.
So we're trying to get our why to getting is good. That's basically what it is.
I think just trying to see, it's one thing to talk, but to actually see and know somebody that's over there that's doing well. Because I feel like I know my brother initially, he was one of those ones always sending me, if there was any negative news, send it to me, and I would send him back where he lives. I'm like, okay, now this is what happened right down the street from you.
Right.
And so, but now he's starting to come in contact with more people who travel internationally, military people, all different people, and they've been to South Africa, and one in particular, he was like, okay, you need to talk to this guy because he's traveled all over, and he said this is where he would stay. And so without him, of course, when you just hearing it from us, I'm just big sis, what do I know? But when you hear somebody from the outside saying the same thing, I think it's giving him more comfort. And then when he sees us going over there, I know he's probably gonna be next.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They had that little breakout riot over the weekend, just one weekend thing.
And that
was in
Durban. And so it only happened for like 3 days, maybe 4 days.
You might not have been there.
Yeah. And they made a big deal out of it. Oh, they rioting.
Right.
You see what's going on over there? You sure you want to go there? And I'm like, dude, Portland is still rioting.
Yeah.
It's been 2 years. Portland's still going strong.
Yeah.
So, the summer of 2020, it was 3 to 4 straight months of riots.
Right. Oh, they forget.
3 days.
They forget when Barack Obama took office, there was the Occupy movement that was all over the country where people were just occupying public spaces, public government. Or they forget, again, the Black Lives Matter, George Floyd. Or what about January 6th, right? When, they stormed the Capitol of the United States. Yet that's never portrayed as the American democracy is in jeopardy. Someone stormed the Capitol of the United States and they didn't fly the flags of a former country, the Confederacy, as well as Trump flags in the building. They took over the halls of Congress. They urinated and defecated on the floors and did all of these things. Yet it is never promoted, it is never reported that American democracy is in jeopardy. They got 2 minutes of riots in KwaZulu-Natal, and all of a sudden, South African democracy is in peril. It's falling apart. That's how they portray it, and we buy it. We ignore all the stuff that's going on. 2 weeks ago, downtown New Orleans, they had about 300 of our young brothers and sisters, 15, 16, 18-year-olds, doing donuts in the middle of the street, holding the AK-47, right? Hanging out the window. This is during the day, and it wasn't on no Saturday. It was like a Tuesday. You see what I'm saying?
What's going on there?
Our people that lost their dang on mind. They all need some medicine. You understand? So this is what's happening, and no one will say, hey man, New Orleans could be a city that's in jeopardy of being a fallen state. No one says that. They are asking for the National Guard, the Louisiana National Guard, to come into New Orleans. The National Guard is not a policing agency. They are a military force. Well, if you need military, that's like sending in UN troops somewhere, right? But they will never say, so the way they portray when foolishness happens in the United States versus when foolishness happens in South Africa is two totally different things.
Like right now, we're destabilized.
Well, technically, we are a destabilized city, big facts. That has Mardi Gras going on right now.
We need some peacekeeping.
So what part of New Orleans where they were doing the donuts? Downtown?
Central Business District.
Central Business District, downtown, by the white people in their businesses. We don't have enough police officers. We went from having 1,700 police officers to like 900, right? We don't have, maybe 1,100, something like that. We don't have enough police officers. New Orleans East, and we got off on a tangent, but New Orleans East, when you guys were here and when I was growing up, was the Black middle class. If you had a girl or a girlfriend or a boyfriend from the East,
Oh yeah,
her mom and daddy had a good job. They went to school. New Orleans East is they call it the Wild Wild East. They call it East Afghanistan. Now, that's what it's called because they cutting up out there. And with that being said, they only have at times 2 police officers to cover the entire East. Two patrol cars, so 4 police officers.
We used to go to We Never Close out there on Chef Ventura.
Yeah, we never closed. I wouldn't go there. Well, we never closed. It's closed down now, but
it's closed now.
Yeah, you wouldn't pay me. You can't pay me to go across the East, man.
I wish I could just fly. One night, Patrice and I, we stayed in Turtle Creek Apartments off of Clearview in Metairie.
Yeah.
1 o'clock in the morning, we was hungry. I said, man, I can go for a shrimp po' boy right about now. We got it. Let's go. We got up, got in our vehicle and drove from Metairie all the way to Chef Ventura to We Never Closed. And we got there, it was probably like 2:30 in the morning. It was 20 people in front of us, standing in line, waiting for a sandwich.
Yeah.
And while we were standing there, a big rope about this big walked right in front of us and kept on going. I looked at Patrice, Patrice looked at me. We stood in that line and got that sandwich. It was just that serious. We didn't even make it home. We got in the car. We parked in the parking lot of Lake Forest Mall. Where's the mall? Yeah. We parked in the parking lot. Yeah, 3 o'clock in the morning. We eating po' boys in the parking lot of the mall. Got full, got so sleepy, didn't feel like driving back We almost went to sleep in the mall, but we ended up driving back. But that was our experience. But now, there's no way we couldn't do that. Now.
No, indeed, at all.
That's another thing that I like about South Africa is that the respect for your elders and family in general. I noticed that stood out to me volumes because, a lot of times a belt and a stern look, and if they had to say something to you, you would go get it. That would cut out a whole lot of foolishness.
Yeah.
But now it's just anything goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they have respect for the police too. Because when we had mentioned something about police, they said that we don't have a problem with our police as long as you follow the law. You don't have a problem.
Right.
Yeah.
I got pulled over 3 times in maybe 2 days in South Africa, and never did the thought of I might have a bad interaction. Here again, I'm driving way in another country without a SA driver's license. Right. I handed them this driver, like the woman couldn't even pronounce Louisiana. She said, I said, yeah, that's where I'm from. But the thing about it is, I think that that respect for elders piece is very important too. And I didn't realize I'm an elder now. I always thought I was still a young person, but they would. I'm a whole elder.
Elders.
But
I think since we're 10 years older than you and you're an elder, so what that make us? Ancients. we're the ancients.
Yeah, man, I don't know. I don't know, man, but shout out to them for showing me that I'm a whole elder out here, man. I'm like, wow. I was like, I love the respect, Matter of fact, that call that we had, did you notice when we had the call last week and everybody was on? When Juice said at first he didn't want to say why he originally went to South Africa. He said, I had a whole bunch of older people and I didn't want to. I was like, bro, I ain't nothing but a couple years older than you. But I forgot. I'm 40-something years old.
Right.
I done got old. But man, I do appreciate.
You got baby face. You shave your beard. You look like you 27.
Man, that's why I tell them. I want to tell you to check my high blood pressure and be like, I'm getting old people disease.
Old people issues.
I can't see. I ain't got no hair on my head. It's downhill from now. I'm about to sign up for AARP. You know? But man, what else I was saying about SA? Is that cultural respect. So I was watching, or maybe I was talking to somebody. I don't know where I got this information from, but they were saying even in the workplace, because someone is an elder, you can't get to, even if you're the supervisor, even if they're your subordinate in the work position, because they are an elder, you can't just talk to them no any kind of way, you know? And now in our workforce, you got people 25 years old calling you by your first name. You know, you're like, Assad, or calling me by my government name, whatever have you. And I'm like, no, fam, we not. I don't even know you like that. we ain't grow up together. You know, but that's how we are breaking down these. I guess.
You know, that was a problem for me when I first went into the Air Force right after undergrad. Even though I was an officer, the people that I was supervising were like my parents' age. And I had a hard time supervising them because they were like my parents' age. And I'm like, I can't talk to y'all any kind of way. You know, and then Ms. Brooks, I just want to talk about that assignment. Do you think you might have it? You know, I was just and they gave me a lot of feedback about that. You need to be more assertive. But I was like, she's my mama's age.
Right.
No, it's hard.
Cultural difference.
Cultural difference. In my current position, there's a lady who is maybe not my mom's age, but she could be my mother. She has a son who's 44. Yeah. I'm 43. So I was saying yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. That's the way my mama raised me. You know, you don't tell nobody no, yeah, no. If it's your elder, you yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. And she said, she called me doctor. She said, can we get on a call? I said, sure, you know. And she was like, I've noticed you kept, you refer to me as ma'am and no ma'am. That's not the way we do things here. I am, just call me by my first name. And I was like, oh, black lady, where you getting this from? You know, white people to really convince you of some stuff, boy. I don't know where you getting this from. I said, okay, I'll call you with, I'm not going to disrespect you. I'll call you with what you want, but I'd never heard of anything like that where someone, an older person is telling me not to call them ma'am. I don't know if it made her feel something like older.
I've gotten that, but usually from white folks in the workplace. Oh no, call me Sue.
It don't make sense. And 40s, 50s, and 60s, we were fighting for respect.
Yeah.
Now we asking not to get respect and we wondering why we disrespected.
Right. Right. And that's part of that forever young type of culture that the United States has created. Nobody wants to grow old. Nobody wants to become an elder. Everybody wants to be, what did Jay-Z say, forever young. Right?
Age is it's just a state of mind. You know, I know some people that's younger than me and look and act older than me.
Yeah.
And so, I know when I was in my 20s, when we couldn't afford to eat Applebee's, we was eating Denny's.
Yeah.
And when you got 50, you got a 10% discount. So I told my wife, I said, I can't wait till I turn 50 so I can go to Denny's and get my 10% discount. So, now I'm 52 and we haven't been to Denny's because most of the Denny's are closed. But the point is, I was looking forward to getting older.
Yeah.
My thing is, I'm trying my best to stay, healthy as possible and stay active as possible, and so that's another reason why I want to go to Africa, because a lot of times the American dream is to work all the way up to you 65, 70, and then when you finally retire, you end up dying within 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's not the ending I want.
Well, Doc, let me ask you this. Here's another thing I look forward to, and I want to just get your take on this. I look forward to not being identified with my job. In the United States, you are always identified by your profession. In fact, people will ask you, what do you do for a living? And they ask you that in times many ways to make an assessment about how they will treat you. Right?
Mhm.
And I've made it a purpose. Yeah, I put the PhD on certain things because there's certain levels of respect. It's not even respect. It's about the fact that I earned it. I spent my time doing it.
Right.
But other than that, I've made it a real effort to say it's brother aside, or call me aside, because you'll find out whether I'm intelligent or not. And more importantly, I will make sure you treat me with respect because I am recalcitrant and confrontational. So if I'm not getting the respect, I will damn sure.
Yeah.
Right? But,
Yeah. I mean,
so how do you guys feel about being able to be identified as not Dr. James, but just as James, and people approaching you from that vantage point?
I never tell people what I do. You know, a lot of people just thought I was just a housewife. Like at my kids' school, you know, going to their activities, that sort of thing. That lets you know how much people gossip, because they always found out who I was, but it wasn't because I told them. Because when they found out, they were like, "We just thought you were a housewife." I said, "Yeah, that's who I was before I was that." You know.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
And that I want you to, like you said, not treat me a certain way because of any type of credentials that you think I may have or anything that you can get from me.
Right.
And so I've conducted myself kind of like that anyway. Even now when we're working together, you know, people don't know who I am. I'm just Miss P. And I want them to feel loved and respected. And I don't care how old they are. I call them ma'am and sir too. And they were like, "Don't come." I said, "No, I understand my age is different from your age." I was like, "But I'm trying to show you honor. I'm trying to show you respect." And that culture over there seems like it emanates from them. And I'm so looking forward to that, because people just want to be loved. Now, we have some clientele who it's international, and I guess it goes across socioeconomic, I'll say, boundaries. We have some people that you might turn your nose up and say, "Oh, you know, they can't afford what I'm trying to do." And I was like, "No, you can't ever look at people and tell what they do, because I talk to the people. I find out how they're doing. I like to talk about their families and just see how they're doing, just to make conversation. I want them to feel welcome. And you get to talking to them, and these people are business people. Just because they may like a certain type of dentistry, they have families. They have legitimate jobs. They are business owners. They're entrepreneurs. And so you cannot, this experience right here has let me know not to lump people in a particular category based on what my perception is, but to truly get to know people.
Right.
Yeah, with about 10 stacks on you in cash.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you be flipping out hundreds. You be like, "Oh, I thought you were broke."
No,
Yeah.
they own multiple loan businesses.
Yeah.
So I mean, the trucks are
You know, I got away from that title stuff way back. Well, see, I graduated in 96, and probably 96 and a half when I found out that my title wasn't worth nothing. So one day I was working at my first job, and I was hungry. It was lunchtime. I wanted to get something to eat. I didn't have nothing in my wallet. So I said, "Okay, I'm going to go to the ATM." So I was working in this small town called Yazoo City. And so everybody knew me. "Oh, that's the new doc. That's the new doc in town." You know, so I'm standing in line, and I get up to the ATM. There was at least 3 or 4 people behind me. And I put my code in, and I was praying to have $5 in their account. I did not have $5 in the account. I kept pushing the button, and all I came out was a receipt saying nothing. And so the people behind me like, "Is that Dr. Bennett? Well, you know, he's gonna get no money. Yeah, Dr. Bennett." I was so embarrassed. I had to go in my car and look under the seat, and I found like about $1.25 in change, and then got me a Snicker and a drink. But I learned on that day that it doesn't matter what title you have. If you don't have any money, you know, your title is worthless. You know, I just can't go in a restaurant and say, "I'm Dr. Bennett," and they gonna serve me. No, they don't care. As long as you got your money,
you can be anybody.
And so that's why I say I don't really get into titles like that. But some people, you make a mistake and don't call them doctor. So, "How dare you call me Mr. whatever?"
Right.
I'm doctor. I've spent 20 years getting my, I mean, it ain't no big deal. You know, you was Mr. before you was doctor anyway. You know, at least I said Mr. You know?
Right. I think in terms of elder, younger person relationship, ma'am, yes, ma'am, or those were ma'am. But in a work environment, it depends. Let me say this: like when I am talking to like a mayor or something, yeah, I may say doctor because now I'm trying to make sure you understand. You might be a mayor. I'm trying to buck myself up a little bit, get a little, a little stature. But no, wait, you said Yazoo City, Mississippi?
Yeah.
Ain't that where you from? Your mom and people from?
Mount Bayou, but we
Mount
know
yeah.
City.
Yeah, it's a small world.
Yeah.
Small world, man. But anyway, SA March Madness. The 9th, you guys will be there, or you're leaving on the 9th. You get there on the 10th?
Yeah.
And we leave on the 12th, and we get there on the 13th, man. So we look forward to, I mean, we got a number of people coming, believe it or not. Another sister, like last week, watching our videos, decided she was gonna buy her ticket. So I think she leaves on the 7th. I think she leaves I think she leaves maybe on the 17th. So she's getting there a little bit later or whatever. I think that's when she leaves, but it's turning out to be a good, I don't know, maybe a good 10 people who at one point in time will be all overlapping in Johannesburg.
When is Brian gonna be there?
I don't know. He's leaving on, did he say the 16th? But see, they're going into Cape Town. So I think he's trying to, and I'll reach out to him again, because it's only like an hour flight from Cape Town to maybe an hour and a half flight from Cape Town to Josie. So I think he's going to try. That was the kind of conversation we try to make it into Josie. But I forgot about them. That's a whole nother part of the March Madness. Yeah,
because his birthday and your birthday is on the 16th, right?
Man, absolutely right, man. I mean, it's the strangest thing.
Yeah,
it was some weird stuff going on there, man. Like, the similarities that y'all have coming to Xavier. I mean, like, he grew up near the same neighborhood. I mean, the birthdays. What else was it that was similar? Did he say his daddy was a preacher? His daddy was a preacher too? Huh?
Live near Dillard University.
Yeah, live near Dillard, but like his daddy was a preacher also. Like the man that just came and interrupted us. My daddy was a preacher, or is a preacher, and it was just crazy, like these similarities, So I thought he was an FBI agent, I get paranoid. I think he's working for the people. This is stupid.
For your birthday, I'll buy you the coldest glass of water in town.
I take mine with lemon and Splendor. I make lemonade. But yeah, man, we got it. We're definitely going to have us a good time in March, man. And this will be, I'm froze. Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, you're back now.
Okay. Because the internet connection here, it's telling me right now it's unstable. But for March, we are looking for, it's gonna be a good dry run for us too. Because we'll still be working our virtual gigs. So a lot of times at night, we're gonna have to be in, especially around 8 o'clock, because we'll start having meetings that are taking place in the US at 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon or whatever have you. So this will be a good dry run to see, this is how life is going to be. And we're excited about it because, I mean, family, just imagine we'll be off the entire day. And when everybody else is going home at night, we just have to go to meetings. We go home and sit around, have a meeting here, a meeting there. That's a different, we are hoping, inshallah, God willing, it will be just a different way of living without all that old extra stress and pressure that this culture provides. Now, if this other thing with this university works out, well, then that may be all in disarray, because then I may be here and there.
Working all day, all night.
Working all day and all night, but I do that anyway, so I don't mind. But any closing remarks before we get up out of here? Because it's been, I guess, about, an hour and a half we've been on that.
Yeah. No, we appreciate you interviewing us. We found out, let me tell you this story, how I found about Asad. One day, I was looking for videos to watch about South Africa, came across one of your videos, one of those quick videos that lasted 35 minutes. And I watched the first one and I laughed, and I watched the second one. And the next thing I knew, in one sitting, I watched like 7 of your videos in a row from front to back. And you said, if you made it this far, you're a soldier. I said, no, I'm a general. I done watched 7 episodes in one sitting. That was like, shoot, that's at least what, 4 hours?
yeah. If not more.
I got to meet that brother. I got to talk to him. So I reached out and emailed you, and you emailed me right back, and we've been friends ever since. So it's been a pleasure.
Absolute pleasure.
Meet you, and I look forward to kicking it with y'all in South Africa.
Man, listen, we asked Allah, we said we need a circle because we don't want to go there and not have his network. And you know, he is a provider. That's one of the names in Islam, is that he's a provider, and he's provided us with you guys, as well as a number of other people. And we are just looking, we know that we won't be there long. We have family there once you guys get there. We definitely appreciate meeting you guys, and it's been, like I said, it's been a pleasure. And I mean, and when we get together, we cut up and laugh, and that's the main thing. Now I'm just gonna warn you, Brandy and her brother, they ignorant too now. They go like to cut up and laugh. So I don't know how all 6 of us, we can't go to no. We had to be outside at the restaurant.
Yeah,
because they put us inside, they put us out.
Yeah,
yeah, because it's gonna be rough with that one. We're gonna have us a good time, man. But thank you guys for this interview.
While we're there, we might see one of these.
That was my laughing tissue. You know. It has begun. Oh no.
Oh man, shout out to my Nigerian family. Oh man. Look, man. Okay, on that note, that's it. I'm about to stop.
We love everybody. We truly do. And thank you again for this opportunity.
Thank you.